Our most consistent testimonial is people take it in the morning, report mental focus and energy during the day, and better sleep at night, just like you did.
Are you curious about discovering ways of making your life better? Then welcome to my podcast. I'm Bob Nickman, and this is The Exploding Human. Listen in while I talk with all kinds of people in the fields of personal growth, health and healing, alternative therapies, psychology, spirituality, environment, and the future. I'm looking for those answers that make life better for everyone. You'll meet cutting-edge practitioners, doctors, artists, filmmakers, business people, and those who have overcome challenges. The brave, the curious, anyone who's out there helping us humans to explore, expand, and explode.
Hey, welcome to The Exploding Human. My name is Bob Nickman. My guest today is CHRIS BURRES. This is part 2 of our interview, where we are going to be discussing the results of my taking MyVitalC and the face serum based on the nano antioxidant ESS60. But first, I'd like to invite you to visit my website, theexplodinghuman.com. There you can listen to episodes, read synopses, see photos of my guests, a little bio on myself. There's a donate button if you'd like to support the show through Patreon. Thank you very much. There's also a YouTube channel, The Exploding Human with Bob Nickman. You can listen to episodes there, and the Exploding Human Facebook page. As I said, my guest today is CHRIS BURRES. This is part 2 of our interview. After talking to Chris on the previous interview, which you should definitely listen to, we'll give you a little background into what we're talking about in this episode, I decided to experiment with MyVitalC and the face serum, which he so generously sent me samples of. And we're going to be talking about how that went for me and some of the adjustments I had to make in terms of dosage. And we're going to be getting into some other topics such as sleep research and longevity research. It's always a really fun conversation talking to Chris, and this is no exception. So please listen in. This is CHRIS BURRES, part 2.
It's several weeks later. I've been taking the MyVitalC and the face serum. So what happened?
Hopefully, you're not drinking the face serum.
No. Well, let's start with the face serum first, because I immediately loved it. So from the container that it's in, it's just you push down and just get the right amount, and if you over push, you can still save it. That's the kind. Yeah, it's a great container. So, and that is important, because a lot of people that use products, they over squeeze, and you can't put toothpaste back in the tube. You can't do it. Nope. So I put it on, and I just felt my skin drinking it up in this, and there's an elasticity to my skin. It feels really good. And I immediately, when I ran out of the sample that you sent, I got this, I went and bought it because I really liked it. And awesome. I'm using it. So it's going to be part of my deal. By the way, I never really used much face stuff until I've used this. It's not greasy, and my skin feels really good. And I'm not aware of it other than that it's soft and elastic. Elasticity, isn't that the word?
Yeah, no, that's it. Yeah.
Collagenetic. That's a word I just made up.
I like that.
So I haven't noticed. I did notice one sort of little thing that kind of went away, a little bump that I had. So I don't know if that's the reason or not, but there was 2 of them, one smaller and the other one went away. So we'll see. I don't think it was a pimple. I think it was something else. So we'll keep doing that and see how that goes, but it feels good and it feels right. So that being said, when I took the MyVitalC at the recommended dosage of 5 mLs, is that what it is?
Yep. 1 teaspoon, 5 mLs. Yep.
Yeah. That was the first day I took it. I got a big sort of jolt and it felt great. And then the next 2 or 3 days, I didn't like it. It didn't make me feel good. I felt like it was too much. So I stopped. And then I called, or we talked on the phone after a couple of weeks, because I had stopped, and you said, I had emailed you, do I reduce the amount? And you said yes. So that's what I've been doing for a few weeks now, and I went to about half of that.
Okay.
That felt right.
Yeah.
So when let me tell you the results that I have, because they're subtle, but they're nonetheless, I do see them. I feel an energy boost immediately after taking it, and a continued very subtle energy with clarity, mental clarity.
Mm-hmm.
I have not taken a nap since I've started taking it. I wasn't taking a lot of them, but periodically. But even when I think about it, taking a nap, my body goes, "Nah, you don't need a nap."
You're good. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's been a couple of weeks since we spoke, and I've lowered the dose, and I've experimented a little by going a little less and a little more. Today I did a little bit more because I knew I was talking to you. So I wanted to be overly vital C.
Let me poison myself for the show. This is going to be a good podcast.
Yeah, so that's my personal experience. So, it's positive. I would say it's positive. I guess I was doing too much, and I guess that really depends on a person's body chemistry and the state of their health. And I like to think that I was in pretty good shape and didn't need as much as other people. That's how I'm going to interpret it for myself.
We'll go with that. I like that. No, I mean, the reality is the exact dosing. We really did an allometric calculation from the original study, right? That original study where the rats live 90% longer than the control group. There's a thing called an allometric calculation, and I'm gonna geek out here because it's kind of cool. So basically, we understand that the metabolism of the rat is not the same as the metabolism of the human, right? Our metabolism is much slower than the rat. They live a shorter time. And so it turns out that the surface area of the animal is proportional to the metabolism, right? I think that's just super geeky cool. Yeah. So you kind of estimate the surface area of a rat, you estimate the surface area of a human, and that gives you a proportion to adjust the per kilogram target dosage. So that's really something that did. But remember, that original study was a toxicity study. Like, the goal actually was to kill the rats. We won't say goal. The thought process is that the ESS60 molecule in olive oil would kill the rats. It's a toxicity study. They thought it might be toxic. And again, instead of being toxic, those rats live 90% longer. When you do the first toxicity study, you do not give a little bit to the rats and see if they get sick, right? You give a lot so that you have the starting point of, okay, now we understand it is toxic. Let's back down the dose and figure out at what point is it toxic, right? So that's how the toxicity studies tend to work. So it could be a high dose, and dosing is something that we're going to have to work on. I usually say serving size because dosing kind of implies medicine, and that's definitely not us. The optimal serving size is variable. And I don't remember on the podcast, did we end up talking about our 2-time ultra running champion who's taking the product?
Yeah, I think that they take a lot more than what I was taking.
Yeah, he takes triple. So he's taking 3 teaspoons. Frankly, he's probably taking more because I have to send him some more right now. We're sponsoring him kind of in his career, in our sponsorship is in the form of this product that he loves, MyVitalC. So he's taking triple, but he's also, running 120 miles a week, right? That's not you and that's not me. No. We don't need that triple dose. I've had people who have taken it later in the afternoon and said that it'll keep them up. That energy boost that you get, that will keep them up. That's never been true for me, but I'm not a good example because I can have a cup of coffee. Now, I know that the scientists say that me having a cup of coffee and going to sleep, it's still not the same. It's not as good because the caffeine is actually interrupting the sleep. It's not giving you as quality a sleep, but I can in fact have a cup of coffee and go right to sleep. So I've never had any problems with our product. I had one actually employee of one of my companies. She took the 5 mils or the 1 teaspoon in the morning and said it kept her up that night. Right. So she backed down to half or maybe even 1 mil. I've had people who have started on drops and noticed a difference. That person that I'm thinking of is now, I think, at more than a teaspoon a day. Right. So that was just their starting point. And one thing, how much olive oil is in your diet in general?
Yeah, not a lot.
Yeah. So, I mean, just to add a teaspoon of olive oil, it's a lot, right? It's a lot of oil. And so we do get people who say like the oil doesn't sit on my stomach well.
Yeah, I had a little of that, to honestly. In the morning is when I take it because I want to get my day going. Sometimes I'm like, do I really want olive oil at 8 a.m.? But I do it,
Yeah. And you can also like sop it up in bread. If you're having some sort of bread with breakfast, or there's lots of ways. And I do like, I mean, I now like the taste of olive oil. But if you don't like it, one sip of water, it's not something that sticks with you like for the day. I don't know if you've ever tried like a CBD gummy or something, but those will, it tastes like an ashtray in your mouth, all day. This just a sip of water and it's gone. So I think you're, really what works for you is the right thing. The energy, and you said the word subtle, and I may have shared this, like we've got people who say, I noticed the first day I didn't finish my cup of coffee, like that's on the first serving. And we've got people who are like, well, I'm 3 months in, I don't know if I've noticed anything, I'm going to stop. And then they come back. In fact, the 3 drop guy actually at one point stopped and then came back. And now that's, I think, why he's on a full serving. But so you're right. It can be very subtle. And if it's just related to sleep, again, maybe somebody's hopping in on this podcast and didn't hear the previous one. First, go back and listen to it. And then second, our most consistent testimonial is people take it in the morning, report mental focus and energy during the day, and better sleep at night, just like you did. We all sleep a little bit different each night. Like not many people are like, at 10 o'clock, I turn the lights off, and by 10:05, I'm actually asleep, or whatever the number is. And then I wake up precisely at, 6 o'clock or whatever. Most of us are plus or minus 15 minutes, maybe plus or minus an hour every now and then. And so to get a little bit better sleep, or even to get a little bit longer sleep, is really subtle, because we're not on this regiment, right? And so, subtle is something that comes up. And again, energy comes up. I like your example of the nap. Did I share my 2 naps before noon story?
I don't remember, because the first podcast was weeks ago and I haven't listened back yet.
And you weren't taking the focus and energy then. So maybe that's why you don't remember.
That's right.
Just kidding.
Well, I mean, you're the most important person in my life right now. Anything you say, I pretty much will remember.
I'm offended that you don't. Well, and maybe I didn't. So
you are. Right this second, you are.
In this moment, yes. Until this podcast ends, I have to kind of embarrassingly admit that I used to take 2 naps before noon on Saturdays and Sundays, and the way that would work. I've got 10 twins, boy-girl twins, and I would wake up early. I would go lay on the couch. They would sit on me and watch cartoons, and I would take my first nap of the day. Interestingly, a friend of mine pointed out that is brilliant babysitting, because they can't get up and do anything without me noticing, but I am in fact getting my nap.
I love that.
So then we'd go downstairs, have breakfast, come back up, resume the position. And I literally, like, if we weren't out of the house, I took 2 naps before noon on Saturdays and Sundays. And then I started taking this regularly in 2018. And I barely take naps. I think now I'm probably, I don't know, a nap a week, a nap every other week. Mm-hmm. And I come from a napping family. My mom loves naps. Like, the day's orchestrated around the nap. It's a really important, piece of the day. And I actually just would get into the same position, right? Laying on the couch, kids sitting on me. And then I'm like, well, I don't want to sleep. And I also don't want to watch these cartoons anymore. So I'm going to get up and do something. So it is really interesting, the impact on naps.
Yeah, I used to love naps, and I sort of miss them.
Right? There's something about I'm with you. I'm like,
well, it's like checking out in the middle of the day feels good to me. I mean, I don't know why. I mean, there are a lot of cultures that's what they do. It's just part of the day.
Yeah.
You nap in the afternoon and then you work a second round of the day. So it's just another way to approach life. But I haven't
Well, and
wanted
there's
them.
really good sleep data. The book Why We Sleep by Matthew Walker talks about I think it's bifurcated sleep, where you've got a longer section of sleep at night and not necessarily 8 hours. Maybe it's just 7.5. And then you got a 30-minute nap in the afternoon for a cumulative total of 8. And that's actually very, very standard and very good for you. Like the data on taking a nap and then waking up and being refreshed and focused is pretty clear. But I'm not lacking usually, like, of course, every now and then late night or a hard workout or whatever. I can be dragging. And in those cases, I actually take another serving. But usually I don't need that second cup of coffee or third cup of coffee. I don't take a nap. I don't need the nap.
Yeah. What's the most anyone's taken?
So I know the very first person to sell this product on the market. We actually sell him the raw ESS 60. He said, and the very first, so like there's a study, right? There's this study on the rats, and the rats live 90% longer. And then I affectionately call these wacky biohackers who are like, oh, let me put that in my body. Like, how quickly can I get it in my body? And again, the data was clear, it was safe, but he brought the product to market and he told us he downed 300 mils of the product as kind of like look, if I'm going to sell this, like I'm going to do this study on this toxicity study on myself. So I think that's the most I've heard is a 300 mil gulp of this stuff.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a lot of olive oil, not let alone the actual product. What was this? Did he have some kind of reaction that was off the
I don't think
charts?
so. No, I mean, it was literally, I think he was about to launch the website and he's like, and I respect this integrity. There might be other ways to do it, but the fact that, look, if I'm going to put this in a market and have people, consume, make money while people are consuming it, I really need to kind of confirm that it's safe, right, to himself.
Wow, that is many, many times what I've been taking.
And it's a lot of calories. I think I might not eat for a couple of days if I
didn't even think of that. Yeah.
Right. Because I think a teaspoon is 90 calories.
Oh, okay.
I think that's right. I can double check that.
Is that because of the olive oil?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's good olive oil, I have to say. I like it.
It's 40 calories per teaspoon. So each
okay.
serving is 40 calories.
If you're in Weight Watchers, pay attention. 1 point.
All 1 point. All the calorie counters out there.
Yeah, I don't know.
So I know you're doing a lot of really healthy stuff. Are you doing intermittent fasting?
No.
No,
I'm not. No. My wife does it. I do not. Yeah. She's had a lot of success with it.
Yeah. Have you tried it at all or just?
No, I have not. She stops eating at 6 p.m. and she will not eat past 6 p.m. I will get up and have a snack, and I don't really have any, weight issues but I do know the idea of eating past a certain time that your body is working on digestion while you're sleeping. And it's apparently not supposed to be doing that. It's
instead of recovery. Yeah.
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 So would I probably be served better to do that? Yeah. I don't know. I'm one of those people that, I get up in the morning, I have to eat right away or I get dizzy, without drinking. I drink some coffee, but I have to have some ballast in there. So, some people get up and they don't eat for hours. Yeah. I'm fascinated by that. So, go ahead.
Yeah. My goal is I'll actually have a snack no later than 10 and then to not eat until 3 the next day. Now I'll have a cup of coffee, right? It's got my MCT, it's got some ghee. So there's some calories there. And probably technically not a fast, but they're all oil-based, is my argument. And then I'll actually have another cup of coffee. So I'll end up having 2 cups of coffee. I don't need the coffee. I just enjoy like the pomp and circumstance about making the coffee and the taste of the coffee and all that stuff. I really on weekends, I tend to not have coffee, and I don't get headaches or anything. It's not a necessary piece.
Well, I like that you mentioned that you put MCT oil in your coffee, because I do the same thing. I put that, and I put some collagen powder.
Yeah.
And some almond milk, and I mix it up with one of those little battery stirrers and foams it up. And it's like a morning treat with some healthy stuff with the coffee. And that's pretty much all I need in terms of coffee for the day. Yeah. And it's got some healthy stuff in it. So I'm, between the serum on my face and the collagen inside, I look like I'm 20, my skin.
Getting younger every day.
Every day, other than the saggy part.
just to share with you, we're actually coming out with a new skincare product. We've got it already in the hands of a couple of people, and they're just nuts about it. Like again, remember, I didn't want to be in the supplement business. This is not where I wanted to be. Definitely wasn't thinking about the face serum business, but then my director of research approached me with another molecule. We call it Youth 29. It's one of the peptides that has like 30 years of research of skin and hair improvements, and it's water-based. Ours is oil-based. So we actually have a 2-part serum, right, that you mix in your hand and then apply. I love it. That's what I'm actually using now. I'm drinking the 300 mils, right? Mm-hmm. I'm using it on my face daily. There's one of our distributors. She's real funny. Her name's Sarah Banta. She was I think our first call after she got the product was, Chris, I've got to be honest with you. I have a skin and a face lotion addiction. I actually have a credit card that my husband doesn't know about, so that I can purchase products and use them. And your product, by the way, it was our original product, not even the skin serum or face serum. Though just the olive oil product was the best thing she's ever put on her face. And I'm like, that's impressive. And then we came out with this one, and she loved it and is a big distributor of it. And then now this next one, this 2-part piece, she's the first one. We've probably got like 40 bottles or 40 sets into her hands, and she's giving it to friends and families and doing the initial testing on it. But she just raves about it.
So you're you have to mix two things together and put it on. So there's a reaction of some kind. Well, that's why they're separated.
Yeah. Well, two things. So one is oil based and one is water based. Right. And we don't really, from a long term, they're not that stable when they're together. Right.
Oh, okay.
So we've got one that's an oil-based lotion, right? And the other one is really our MCT with ESS 60 with a couple other components. And you put, basically it's 1 squirt or 2 squirts of the lotion, 4 drops of the activator, the ESS 60 activator. You mix it in your hand. What it also allows us to do is not to have an emulsifier, right? Emulsifier just doesn't sound healthy. Like if you can have less emulsifiers in your life, it sounds like that would be a better life. So that enables us not to kind of force those components, oil and water components together. And you mix it in, and it's a great experience. It's really good from a perspective of, if you've got oily skin, you could back off on the activator. If you've got really dry skin, you could add extra activator, which would make it more oil based. So I'm really excited about it. And then the next one is actually hair growth, and I can actually use the phrase hair growth because the components are recognized by the FDA as growing hair. Of course, we've got our own special stuff in it. That's we call it UTH 29 is the peptide we use. And then of course the ESS 60, and that's already getting crazy reviews too.
Yeah. Well, I'm looking forward to trying those when those happen. Now I'm completely bald, as you can see.
Mm-hmm.
After so many years of being bald and not having, really much hair at all, would this actually grow hair, do you think? Seems like a long time that I haven't had hair.
So there's one influencer that we're working with that we got the product to, and the most recent video is like, I don't think you'll get a full head, but he's like, I've been having to shave my head. So it's in the realm of possibility. And I think he was like you. He didn't have to shave his head. It wasn't, but he, for a couple of hairs on his scalp, he's having to shave his head. So That's
He was completely bald, is what you're saying. Oh, okay.
Yep.
Like myself.
Yep.
I mean, I still shave parts of the top of my head. But,
every now and then.
every day.
Oh, every single day. Okay.
Yeah. Just the little part there in the top center there. But then there's parts of my head that there's absolutely nothing there.
I actually have that right here on my cheeks. So I literally can't grow. If I grew a beard, I'd have a bald spot right down to about right here.
Okay.
Right. So it's depressing.
So when you can only get so rugged, Chris, and then you just fall off the cliff. That's
I just looked scruffy and like unkempt.
Well, I hope when these things come out, I'll get to try them because that would be fantastic. I'll be a guinea pig for you.
Well, I guess I'll give the links again, right? So if somebody wants to try any of the products, they can go to myvitalc.com/explodinghuman. And you'll find all of our products there. I do recommend you go on subscription. You can save 25% going on subscription. You can cancel at any time. Our staff is not trained to talk you out of canceling. We've got 500 5-star reviews on Google. It's a great team, but do take advantage of that discount. And also there's a coupon code for an additional $15 off of your initial order. And that coupon code is also Exploding Human.
Fantastic. Worth trying, folks. Definitely worth trying. And I'm very happy with the results for myself. And I can only speak for me. So experiment with the dosage if you're not sure and play around with it. And I believe that Chris is a very committed and sincere guy and really wants to help other people. And that's the important thing. Do you have opportunities for people to become distributors?
Well, absolutely. Yeah. So if somebody has a market that they want to get to, I mean, we have people who are like, look, I just give so much to my friends and family. Like, can I sign up as a distributor and take advantage of that discount? So yeah, and it's a little larger volume. Those are obviously people with big families. But yeah, and we even have the potential for being an affiliate. If you've got access to traffic or an email list or something, you can earn a commission off of sending a link to them, and we've got a process for getting people signed up with that.
Awesome. Very fantastic. You have a fantastic day, and folks, try this stuff. That's all you got to do. Just try it, see what happens.
Thanks, Bob.
Thanks. Have a great day.
Much appreciation for you guys listening into The Exploding Human. And please visit the website, theexplodinghuman.com, the YouTube channel, The Exploding Human with Bob Nickman, and the Exploding Human Facebook page. Once again, thanks so much to CHRIS Burress for being a delightful guest and a font of knowledge. You guys have a fantastic day. Bye.